What is going on, everybody? Tyler Brand back here with another video, and this one is going to be kind of a quick hitter, just a little bit of reaction to what happened last night, the breaking news that happened with New England last night, and we're definitely going to talk about this more in, the next couple weeks and as the weeks go on. But if you haven't heard, if you're just crawling out from under a rock, basically Cam Newton, Auburn quarterback, NFL MVP in 2015, #1 overall pick again out of Auburn. Cam Newton has signed with the New England Patriots. It's a 1-year bare minimum deal with incentives that can make the contract go up to $7.5 million. And it's certainly intriguing, I think is definitely the word that I'm going to use. I'm very excited to get a guy in here that is a good quarterback and can play the position. Let me say that first and foremost. And I think competition is going to bring out the best in everybody in that quarterback room. So I welcome Cam Newton to New England with open arms. And I hope that he is the best he's ever been. He's only 31. A lot of guys enter their prime in their early 30s. Now Cam's got a lot of mileage, especially as a running quarterback, on his body for 31, but he's got a whole hell of a lot of years to play if he can stay healthy. He's the healthiest he's been in a few years. He's motivated. He's got a chip on his shoulder now to prove to people that you couldn't give up on him and that you made a mistake giving up on him. So I'm very excited to get this Cam Newton that's ready to win and ready to prove people wrong in New England. That's, what I'm most excited about, for sure. I know Cam Newton's got an absolute cannon, an absolute hose for a gun. I know he can put the ball, especially down the field, almost anywhere he wants, very far down the field, with pretty good accuracy. I know that. The things that I get a little weary about is the New England offense isn't really built to get down the field very fast. They're not a deep shot kind of offense. Julian Edelman, Mohamed Sanu, N'Keal Harry, they're not really, 40, 50 yards down the field, go and grab a ball, those kind of receivers. So I just am very weary about how the offense would work with him. To me, the big number with Cam Newton, and I put it on my Twitter last night at the Tyler Brandt. You'll see it down here at some point in the video. But, I said in my tweets last night, the number that I'm focused on with Cam Newton is that completion percentage number. Listen, most of the years of his career and his average is under 60% completion. Even in the year he won MVP, he completed less than 60% of his passes. So I just am very weary of that number and the guys that are on New England's offense. I know he can complete some huge passes, and I know he's got a laser of an arm, but his arm has been inconsistent. And I don't know if the receivers there match the skill set that he currently has. If he had a little bit more time to work, if New England would have signed him in March, April, then I think it's a little bit different. I understand why they didn't sign him until June, because the market has settled a little bit, and you can get him in here for a bare minimum deal. But at the same time, he virtually has a month to learn the playbook. And even if New England tailors his offense around his skill set as much as they can, running RPOs and letting him run as much as he would like, it's only a month between now and training camp. So you can't really expect New England to make sweeping changes to their offense in a month. You really can't expect that at all. So I'm just very concerned about his ability to work at a high completion percentage with guys that don't play towards his strengths. That's why I don't want to anoint Cam Newton the starter in June. I want to see a training camp work out. One thing that I've picked up on from everybody on Twitter, on social media, is they signed Cam, and all of a sudden the rest of the quarterback room is chopped liver. It's Cam's job. And I understand Cam is the best athlete in the quarterback room. I completely understand that. He's a freak of nature. He can do things with his arm and with his legs and with his pure size that nobody else in the NFL can do, even now, even though a lot of the NFL has forgotten about him. But the accuracy issues are something that have flared up. I think going forward and going into this 2020 season, I even put it on Twitter, I want the best guy to lead this team in 2020. If that means that the personnel that's here currently isn't the best for Cam in terms of completion percentage, in terms of judgment, in terms of mechanics, in terms of accuracy. If those aren't all there to help him and his skill set, then I want the best guy that is going to be able to work with those guys. One thing I think that Cam does have going for him here is, and I've seen this a few times on socials too, which is a very good point, is he's coming to New England. He's going to have the best offensive line he's ever had, and he's probably going to have the most structured offense he's ever had. And I think what Josh McDaniels will be able to do is to give him some easy completions and to get guys open in space. And I think hopefully, I mean, this team really struggled in creating space, but I think with a quarterback like Cam Newton and his mobile ability, you'll be able to help get guys in space, especially with him being able to extend plays with his legs and being able to do things that Brady, that Stidham, that not any other quarterback has been able to do in Patriots history, pretty much. So I'm intrigued in a lot of ways of how this could work, but I'm also very weary of time. I know that no matter how good Cam Newton is, that it's hard to tailor an offense around a guy that's this good in a month. So I'm weary. I'm intrigued. I think he can be fantastic. I think that this does definitely make the Patriots the favorite in the AFC East again. Do I think that they put them in the AFC Championship game, Super Bowl title contenders? I don't think they're near that yet. I think we'll find out very early in the season just what they're going to be able to do. I think the interesting thing, too, is with Cam on a minimum deal, you can use him in a bunch of ways. You're not strapped to he's our guy going forward. And I'm not saying that he's a perennial backup, hold the clipboard, but if you want to use him kind of in a way that New Orleans uses Taysom Hill and just be able to use a Stidham and Cam Newton combo, or a Lewerke and Cam Newton combo, whoever the guy is, if you want to use Cam in his own special kind of play sets, then I think you have the ability to do that. You're not chalked into having him as your guy, for 100% of the offensive snaps. So I think that there's a lot of interesting things they can do with Cam. I think this is going to make a very interesting camp battle. I think that this competition is going to bring out the best in every single person, like I said, in that quarterback room. I'm not anointing Cam the starter. I think that he's got some work to do. I think the receiving corps has some work to do. I think all of a sudden, to me, who becomes very interesting is Damiere Byrd. He's really a very, very fast. He's kind of the speedster. Maybe he can be like a Ted Ginn on Carolina. I think that's someone that I'm very intrigued in his relationship with Cam, because I think he brings something to the table that Cam has always had, especially in Carolina. So I'm very intrigued to see how these wide receivers work with him, how this offense tailors around him in just a month of preparation, and what New England does going forward. But this isn't the last video that we're going to have on Cam Newton, for sure. Later in the week, into next week, I'll probably have a little bit of a different video explaining some of the pros and cons of Cam Newton's game. The accuracy is the big one, and when you look at the completion percentage, it's lacking, and that's just that. There's no hiding that. So I think that's really the focal point of the number that we're going to want to see from him going into the season, is completing a high percentage of passes. But we'll break down some of that as time goes on. But this was just kind of a reactionary video, my initial thoughts of the Patriots signing Cam Newton. But until next time, I'm Tyler Brandt, signing out. Remember, follow me on Instagram, follow me on Twitter. I'll leave it down there. Chat with me. What do you think about Cam Newton? Do you think he's a pencil him in starter? How do you think this helps New England? Do you think they're going to another Super Bowl? Let me know. Get at me on social media. Until next time, again, stay safe, be good. I'm Tyler Brandt, checking out.